Welcome everybody to Game News.
Yes, welcome to Digimon of the Week 2, another Journals of a D&D Adventurer.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of my Just a Dude podcast. I do want to take a second to say thank you to everybody who has been supporting me, to all the new subscribers, and everybody who has been watching my videos, adding to my watch hours, because every little bit is appreciated. It helps me along my path as I journey to becoming monetized on YouTube. And the fact that y'all have chosen to support me is a gift that I will not readily forget. So thank you all so very, very much, because you don't have to do that, but you choose to. And it means the world to me. It really does. Now, before I get on into the different segments of the Just a Dude podcast, I did want to talk about a couple of things. One main thing is something that's been on my mind a lot lately, which is, there is something that I talk about a lot when I do my motivational videos, which is, you're going to have your good days, you're going to have your bad days, and there's going to be all the days in between. These are all your time. This is all part of the life that you are living here today and every day that you wake up and try. And the thing is, when we have the best of times, we know how to respond. We are happy. We are elated. And when there are the worst of times, we know how to respond. To be stressed, to be sad, to be angry, to be frustrated, because these are all natural emotions to have as a person. But the most interesting thing to think about is how to feel in all those times in between. Because when it comes down to it, those are the majority of the moments of our lives, is all the moments in between, the good moments and the bad moments. For those are the accentuating parts of our lives that we remember most. But the blasé days of our lives are mostly filled with what's in between. And it is in those days that we make the most progress, and yet we seldom see it, because we continue to push forward, and we continue to go and try and reach this level of success, but we don't seem to give ourselves the regard to be able to recognize the progress we make every single day. Because we are too busy and too apt to be chasing after these big moments, these big times, these defining memories of our lives, when we need to be reveling in every single second. Even in those dull, mundane moments where you're just grinding and pushing forward, those are still memories. They are part of the story that add to how amazing you truly are. Never forget to take a second and appreciate how far you've come and how much you've done. Because even though you haven't reached that level of success that you wanted to reach, my friend, you are on your way. You are on your way. Alright? And I just wanted to take a moment of this podcast to be able to say that to y'all, because it's easy to forget that as we go through life and seek and chase after the big moments, the happy times, and the sad times, because those are the ones that we remember most. Just remember, every day then is your day, alright? And y'all got this, you do. It might not seem like it, but it's okay to be lost, and it's okay to be afraid. Because just because you're lost doesn't mean you won't find your way. And being afraid means that you have the potentiality to be brave. Because there is only bravery when there is fear. For there is only foolishness to be had in fearlessness. Alright? Now then, let's move on with this podcast and do the very first segment, shall we? Hello everybody and welcome to Game News, and the very first title that we're going to be talking about is The Dungeon of the Endless. Now this is brought to you by Amplitude Studios and Sega, and it will be available October 19th, 2023 on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, eventually to be released for the Switch, but that has yet to be announced. Now, Endless Dungeon is a roguelike tower defense twin-stick shooter style game that is a successor to the Dungeon of the Endless, which was released in 2014. In this particular game, you will be able to choose from 8 different characters upon launch and be able to play with friends or solo if you so choose to, having to defend a crystal drone while exploring a space station. Let's check out the trailer for this particular game now.
Heads up, kids. Party time.
Stay in formation.
Smells bad in here. And it's gonna get worse.
Got movement.
Quietly.
Me? Quiet?
Don't worry. Quiet time never lasts long.
Have a look-see, little buddy.
Happier now, Zed?
Oh, yeah. Rock and roll!
Come on, little buddy, take a peek.
Friends. This guy may take a couple of tries.
Well, see you at the saloon.
I really enjoyed that particular trailer. I loved how it showed how much impact the attacks had. That is something I really do enjoy when it comes to shooter style video games, is if the attacks themselves have some form of resonance to make you feel like you did something with that attack. And Endless Dungeon seems like it has a lot of that. It also seems very reminiscent, at the very least it brings me back to a short from Netflix from the series Love, Death, and Robots known as Suits. I would highly recommend checking out Love, Death, and Robots if you haven't. It is very entertaining, but I digress. Now, Endless Dungeon will be available October 19th, 2023 on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Now, let's move on to the next title, shall we? Now the next title that we're going to be talking about is Paleo Pines, brought to you by Modus Games and Italic Pig, which will be available on all platforms on September 26th of 2023. This is a interesting and charming farming style game where you get to interact with dinosaurs. Yes, dinosaurs. Let's check out the trailer for Paleo Pines now. Now, I don't know about you, but to me that looked like an absolutely adorable game. I am excited and I cannot wait for the release of Paleo Pines, which, like I said before, will be available September 26th, 2023 on all platforms. Now let's move on to the next title, shall we? And the next title that we're going to be talking about is Detective Pikachu Returns, which is the sequel to Detective Pikachu, which was released in 2016. Now this is going to be available on Switch October 9th of 2023. It is a Switch exclusive, of course, and it is going to have Detective Pikachu reuniting with Tim Goodman and learning some more of their past. Let's check out the trailer for this particular title now.
Even stronger bond between the people and Pokemon of Rhyme City. I hereby proclaim this day the start of Pokemon Friendship Week.
Tim Goodman. Pikachu. You two are the ideal detective duo.
Disguises are a key part of detective work.
Quit goofing off and investigate.
So much for my coffee. Something tells me this is just the beginning. A light roast today, huh?
There is something the two of you must know.
You too! Based on our deductions, the culprit is clear, isn't it? A bolt of brilliance! The name's Pikachu. And I'm what you might call a great detective. I sure wish somebody would bring me some coffee.
Seems like it's gonna be another exciting adventure for our sleuth in Pokemon Detective Pikachu and his partner, Tim Goodman. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm sure many Pokemon fans have been anticipating this game since the release of Detective Pikachu in 2016. And as I said beforehand, Detective Pikachu Returns will be available on the Switch as an exclusive, of course, October 6th of 2023. Now then, let's move on to the final title of Game News, shall we? And the final title that we're going to be talking about is Rin the Last Child, brought to you by Space Fox Games, and it will be available on all platforms September 21st of 2023. This is a game in which you will take over a demigoddess who is the last child of the god of creation, and the attempts to be able to restore the order to a dying world. Let's check out the trailer for Rin the Last Child now.
My child, I created you to save this world. Find and master the aspects to survive. Hurry!
Now that is a game that I would love to do a first look at. Rin the Last Child, which I said will be available on all platforms September 21st of 2023. This interesting Metroidvania style game features a very beautiful soundtrack and eclectic scenery, and I highly recommend that you check it out upon release. Thank you so much for joining me for Game News, and now it's time to move on to the next segment. And welcome to our Digimon of the Week, although I should probably rename this segment Digimon of the Month, because my Just a Dude podcast more than likely will start to become a monthly release along with the other podcasts that I'm going to be doing, but I digress. I'll be talking about that at the end of this particular podcast. Now then, the Digimon of this week is Pippimon, or Ditidimon. This is a Digimon that is a slime baby type Digimon that was actually born from the fruit of trees. And it is said that Ditidimon, aka Pippimon, only shows up to humans that have regained the hope that they have lost. And in fact, Ditidimon is a Digimon that was actually supposed to be Yukio Okiawa's partner, whom is a antagonist from the Digimon Adventure 02 series, and is sadly nothing more than a pawn of a greater, more evil plan. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Digimon of the Week, and it's now time to move on to the next segment. And welcome to the Journals of a D&D Adventurer. Today we read from the journals of Yoru, where he reads, well, someone stole our stuff. We're no closer to finding who stole our stuff. I'm kind of pissed off about that. I'm still poor. Now, there is a member of our group whom I absolutely love, and his name is Droops. And he is a goblin whose family. Anybody hurts Droops, I will hurt them. But here's the thing. I don't want Droops to be disappointed. And he seems to think that there's a carnival going on. There's not a carnival going on. There's a bunch of elves picking fruit. That's about it. And I just don't want him to get disappointed. But either way, I'm poor. That's about it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to bed. And that is it from the Journals of a D&D Adventurer. That was from Yoru's Journal. Thank you all so much for joining me, and it's now time to end this particular podcast. Well, thank you all so much for joining me for another Just a Dude podcast. I do hope y'all enjoyed, and I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me, and for those of you who support me, watch my videos, watch my podcasts, and all of that. It truly does mean the world. Thank you so much. And as I did mention earlier in the podcast, I will be moving my Just a Dude podcast to once a month, because I will also be posting my Dynamite podcast, which I have been doing with a good friend of mine named Bootleg DK, which I have been tagging them in my videos, and I will continue to tag them in my videos, because I would love for y'all to check him out, because he is an absolutely wonderful content creator. He is on TikTok, he's on Twitch, he's on YouTube, and yeah, you can find him through the description, and I would very much so appreciate it if y'all would support him as well. And I'm also going to be working on, and I've been talking about this, and I know my buddy Chef, who is going to be watching this, is going to say something, but I've also been working on trying to get everybody together for my Bunch of Goofs podcast, and I believe I have all of the goofs together, and we're going to have fun with that. So there's going to be a lot of fun ahead, and thank you all so much for joining me. And I do hope that y'all enjoy the new intros and outros that I've been working on, as I have a new theme song thanks to a friend of mine whom will also be tagged in the description. So yeah, been having a lot of fun with it, and I want to leave you with just this little tidbit. Remember, my friends, you're not some puzzle piece. You're not here to fulfill expectations. You are here to live your life for you, alright? So don't think that you have to be anybody for anyone. You are amazing, and that's not gonna change. Alright, my friends? Love train, going on through. Choo choo. I love every single freaking one of you.
Well then everybody, that's another video down. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I do appreciate your view and your time. And if y'all want to join in on the content and the fun, please do check out these links right here. We've got merch, we've got a Patreon, and we've got so much more. Alrighty then y'all, have a good one, and bye-bye.
And by the simple fact that heat must always rise, let us link our hearts and hands as we take unto the sky.